Welcome back, guys. In the last video I promised to release more smaller updates. A few days after releasing the previous version, however, this happened. Public transport mode long-awaited transport lines update for 3 different Minecraft versions, aka version 12, coming right up. Since I accepted multiple challenges and changed the transport lines management completely, I will explain in this video in detail how to set up any type of a transport line and how to manage stations, junctions and traffic lights. I do have to apologize again, since changing the transport vehicle's size smaller, all roads, stops and underground stations and tunnels can now be smaller, which means a lot of rebuilding. So without further ado, wait, oh yes, first you will need to download the new texture pack. Since it has changed a lot, you can probably just delete the old one. And you can also delete the mod configuration file as well. Since the transport line system has changed, you have to create the lines again. Before you start the world for the first time after updating the mod, please optimize the world. Edit the world and optimize. And remember to clear chase data. If the time in the world is wrong, then open the smartphone and change the preferences as you like. Turn blocks are used to change the direction of traffic. Place it on the road facing the direction you wish the traffic to turn. By default, all traffic will turn. Right-click with a technical wrench to open a menu and choose which vehicles should make the turn. When optional is selected, half of the cars will turn and half continue straight. Now you can place all traffic lights and signs on diagonal as well. All traffic lights have to be linked with the stop blocks. That way the traffic light doesn't have to be exactly above the stop block. To do that, use the linking wire. First right-click on the stop block and then right-click on the traffic light. After you have set up all the traffic lights, place the traffic box in the middle of the junction. A menu opens where you can set the range where to look for the traffic lights. Here you can also customize the traffic pattern cycle length. Since transport vehicles are now smaller, all the electric wires for tram, train and trolleybus are few blocks higher than they should be. To fix this easily, just take a vehicle and drive through the line. Or you can just use the builder and rebuild the line. Now I'm going to show you how to build a transport line. First, use builders to build roads, rails and electric wires as necessary. Also, build the stations or the stops. Builder operating keys have changed a little bit for some of the builders. You can check that out from the wiki page. After placing down the station block, right-click on it if it's the last stop of the line. Then right-click with the transport wrench to edit the station data. Write here the station name and change the options as required. All of those options will control the passenger flows. To create the actual transport line, use the computer or a smartphone. Choose transport lines. Here you can create, edit and delete lines. When creating a line, start by giving it a line number, destinations and intervals. If you click on the arrow to move to the second page, you can enter the list of stops. Separate the stop names with commas. After the line is created, you can assign it to the vehicles by right-clicking with a transport wrench near the vehicle or right-click on the transport spawner to assign the line for the block. To change the line direction, click on the A button at the upper right corner. If you wish to change the destination displays while driving a vehicle, press numpad 5. To enable custom announcement system, navigate to the Preferences tab and activate the custom announcement system. All created transport lines must contain a list of station names, and all station blocks must include the stop name. Next, record your own sound announcements for each stop and station. For this, you can use any audio recording software, but I recommend using Audacity. Ensure that your sound files are in stereo and in the .ogg file format for them to work correctly. You will need a sound file for each stop, named exactly the same as the stop, but all in lowercase and spaces are replaced with underscores. In addition, you will need two other sound files. The first file should contain a phrase, "the next station is", and name it next.ogg. The second file should contain phrase, "this is the last stop", and name it end.ogg. Now add all the sounds to your texture pack to the sounds folder. You probably have multiple worlds, so it's better to organize the files. Create an empty folder and call it the same as your world, all in lowercase and no spaces. Drag the folder into the sounds folder and move your announcement sounds in the folder. The next and the end files have to stay in the sounds folder. Finally, you have to tell the mod where to find the sounds by editing the sounds.json file. I'm using Notepad++ for that. As you can see, next and end files are already registered here. Change the stop name to your stop name, and also change the subfolder name here and the stop name here. Save and reload the texture pack. The transport information screen can be placed on the wall or on the ceiling. Right-click with a technical wrench to switch it on. Then right-click with a transport wrench to specify which lines it should display. For example, in this bus stop, to make the screen display the correct lines, just write here the line number, then hashtag and A or B, depending on which direction you wish the screen to display. Separate different lines with commas. At the moment this system might not work properly, but the issues are going to be fixed with the next few updates. If multiple transport lines use the same roads or tracks and split at some point, you can use a turn block to direct only specific lines. For example, if bus number 1 needs to turn while everything else goes straight, place the turn block and right-click with the technical wrench. Then write the lines that you want to turn in the line number field. If there are multiple lines, split them with commas. All number 1 transport lines will now turn. To make only bus number 1 turn and trolleybus number 1 go straight, uncheck the transport option and select only the bus option. When trolleybus or tram lines split, you can place the junction light near the wire splitting location. Choose appropriate states and use the linking wire. Right-click on the turn block and then on the junction light. If you're driving a tram or a trolleybus, you can switch the upcoming junctions from the cab by pressing numpad 0. The ticket system has also changed. From the ticket machine, you can buy single tickets and a transport card. Place the card in the first slot and you can see that the card is not valid. By clicking the button below, you can choose between different tickets. Then click on the arrow to buy the tickets. Time period tickets will start when you use them for the first time. If you wish to check the card balance, just enter it in the ticket machine. When entering or leaving the underground station with gates, you have to right-click on the gates with a ticket or a card for the gates to open. If you have bought 10 rides on your card, then 1 ride is valid until you leave the underground, so you can take as many trains as you like. Until you don't exit the underground, it still counts as 1 ride. The next updates and versions will add few more blocks, depot functionality, maybe even timetables and schedules for the transport, possibly support for left-hand driving and transport vehicles as well. Ideas, suggestions, issues, questions, everything of that sort on a Discord server, please. And if you wish to translate the mod into some other language, for example, let me know. If you have any suggestions for creating the new showcase map, write it on Discord server. Well, I think that's enough. At least for a few days, I hope.